let's go on the scene to western North Carolina. Towns and cities there continue to struggle, picking up the pieces after that catastrophic flooding from Helene. North Carolina's governor and the FEMA administrator talking about how disinformation is affecting the recovery efforts. Part of those remarks in our On the Scene Rewind.
Is there any ongoing threat or any ongoing operational challenges? It sounded like you were alluding to what happened in Rutherford County as past tense.
Yeah, so what happened on Saturday is I received information that I felt was important enough for me to pull part of our services out, the canvassing, door-to-door canvassing out of the field. But the rest of our operation maintained. We still had people at fixed facilities. We still had people working with our EOCs. And we now have resumed all normal operations, and I have people going door to door, and we continue to be in the field.
What's being done to protect all of the personnel on the ground as well as neighbors? And also, what do you say to people like Lieutenant Governor Robbins who are basically criticizing you for your efforts or lack thereof in his opinion?
This has been an unprecedented response to the worst storm in North Carolina history, and there are a lot of heroes on the ground and a lot of resources that have been surged into western North Carolina. There is significant progress being made, but we want to make sure that we take all threats seriously. We want to make sure that the disinformation that the Lieutenant Governor is perpetuating and continuing to share on social media, that we are making sure that we protect people on the ground and trying to get the true information to people. He needs to stop it, and there are other people who needs to stop this disinformation, which is ending up hurting people who've lost everything. What we've done is we've got a coordination of law enforcement through the Department of Public Safety to work with our officials who are on the ground, including FEMA workers, to assist them, to protect them when necessary, and there's a lot of coordination going on to make sure that everybody who's working on this storm is safe and secure, because it's critical that the people of western North Carolina get this help.
You mentioned earlier, second part of my question about the demoralizing effort or parts of the disinformation. Can you cite incidents where this misinformation is actually affecting responses? And if so, also morally, how are the people on the ground reacting to this?
Well, clearly when people assert that help is not coming to western North Carolina, which is completely untrue, which is a lie, the people who are actually on the ground helping feel demoralized when those accusations are made, because they are working very hard to deliver help to people.
And any specific delays in recovery missions or rescue missions because of it?
People are working very hard to make sure that they deliver these services. The FEMA administrator had to make a call for a short time over the weekend to stop canvassing in certain areas. We don't want those kinds of things to happen. We don't know how many people are not going to apply for FEMA because they have heard misinformation about FEMA taking their property or other wild accusations that are out there. People who desperately need this help but have been convinced that they should be afraid of FEMA or other government officials. That's something we may never know. And why people need to stop it, because the people that you're hurting are the very people who need the help the most.
And quickly, lastly, sorry, but have there been any arrests associated with the disinformation campaigns that are out there?
There was an arrest in Rutherford County, yes. I'm not aware of other arrests that have been made in disinformation.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Thank you again for doing this. Eric Miller with WRAL. Following up briefly there, you said you're not aware of any other arrests. Governor, are you aware of any other threats at this point that have impacted either state operations or FEMA operations during this recovery?
I'm not aware of specific threats at this point. There's general conversation and disinformation on the internet, but we take every credible threat seriously, and we also understand that just because of the environment that it has created, we have made sure that our Department of Public Safety has law enforcement available to provide assistance and protection to government workers and to those who are volunteering on the ground to make sure people are safe.
That is North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper confirming at least 95 deaths related to Helene. FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell by his side explaining why she felt the need to remove some FEMA workers from the field in one part of North Carolina, Rutherford County, followed online threats in which one person is now under arrest. Those FEMA workers were said to be the targets. Among those accused of spreading misinformation about FEMA workers, the former President Donald Trump and the state's Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson, who is now running for governor.